Welcome everyone to another episode of our career webinars. This time we are having a career readiness essential series, which is basically a series that focuses on sharing knowledge that is useful for any career field, right? No matter what your field is, if you have a lot of experience working or not, if you're still at university, if you've just finished or you finished long time ago, these are skills and things that are useful for everyone, even for me, working already for some time. So this is useful for everyone. So our topic for today is professional development in a remote internship, building confidence for professional growth by Blessy Alex. So in today's session, we will learn and we will understand what it is professional development, how this plays in remote internships, what are key skills we need for professional growth, and how can we build confidence in a virtual environment, right? And for this, we have our great speaker. We have Blessy. She's an employability and career development coach dedicated to assisting and mentoring university students, as well as working professionals in enhancing their careers and skills effectively. She's an expert in soft skills and global English training, along with career discovery and career transition. And she's a certified coach with an educational background in education and English literature. Thank you very much and welcome, Blessy. Thanks for being here with us. And I'm very excited about today's topic because we probably hear all the time professional development, this word, right? So I think this is a nice webinar to understand what this is, what we can do in a remote internship, and how we can build confidence. So welcome.
Thank you so much, Mirtha, for your warm welcome. And yes, I couldn't agree more with you. This is a topic that we hear about on a very regular basis, but it's always good to reflect and work and discuss on it in the next 1 hour. And yes, very important even for me also to enhance my skills in a professional development in a sector wherein we can keep improving ourselves and keep reskilling and upskilling. And I would like to welcome each and every one of you. I'm so happy to see such a good amount of participants. And this shows that you really are looking up to learning something new and carrying something productive with yourself at the end, taking that effort and initiative to work on your professional development skills. Welcome all, and yes, good evening from Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. And yes, I would love to have active and engaging participants. If you guys have questions, you can definitely put up towards the end of our session. I'll be there to help you and guide you and making sure you have a very productive session by the end. I'll just share my screen. Okay. Yes. Okay, without wasting much of our time, let's get started. Okay. Okay, I hope I'm quite clear to everyone. You can hear me quite well.
Yes, perfect.
Wonderful. So as Mirtha discussed, today we have our Career Readiness Essential series, wherein we'd be talking about professional development in a remote internship, focusing majorly on building confidence for our professional growth. I believe that most of our interns are you are pursuing your internship, or maybe you've completed your internship, or maybe you've planned to just start off with your internship. So even though you're an intern, you are at a formative stage of your career, learning and evolving in different skills, but you're also a professional providing your services. And what better way to work on these areas than talking about them, discussing and reflecting on the everyday activities and responsibilities that you're handling. So yes, let's get started. So one of the most important point is why professional development matters to us. Why is it so important? I mean, why do we even throw light on that? And what's the purpose of these internships that helps us to work on our professional development skills, expanding our knowledge, be better at the work we are doing. Why is it so? We'd be talking about that. So before getting started with that, I have a quick question for each and every one of you participating. Use your chat box to share one professional development goal you have for this internship, or maybe you've achieved from the internship you've completed, or you would like to achieve by the end of your internship. Anything, I mean, even if it's just one simple thing, just put it in the chat. We would love to read about it. And then throughout your the session that we're going to talk about, I want to make sure that you guys are reflecting on it and making sure that what your key takeaways and how are you going to work on it. What's one professional development goal you have for this internship? Oh, lovely. Productivity with my tasks, learning to work in remote environment. Thank you so much. Competency. Yes. Well, yes, managing time, gaining new knowledge. Of course, absolutely. With every set of experience and projects that we work on new tools, we gain new knowledge, international experience, absolutely working remotely, getting to work with people from different culture, different background, being adaptive, having different perspective. Wonderful, great. Okay, you can keep adding on, okay, while I move forward. Okay, so as we were talking about, like, why, the first question, why professional development matters to us. Why is it, like, what is even so important about, professional development? I mean, what is professional development all about? We talk about skills, we talk about work experience, we talk about expanding our knowledge. What is this? It's basically the whole process where you gain new knowledge, you gain new skills, you gain new experience, making sure that it improves your job performance. We have interns who've been working full time, who are doing a higher degree, who are pursuing this internship to upskill themselves, to improve their job performance and advance in your career. We have interns who are undergrads, who are just about to begin and, expand their career. And these professional development strategies and skills help them to be better at the next steps in your career. So it majorly focuses on building your expertise. Absolutely. Something that I keep sharing always. Your internship is like, a trial run for your marathon of your future, wherein you specifically identify yourself, you know yourself better. You build an expertise through the tasks, responsibilities, and exposure that come your way. Expanding opportunities for you and staying relevant in the workplace, being aware of the latest trends, being aware of the changes, being adaptive, learning new skills and knowledge, etc. So it majorly focuses on all these expertise build up, expanding your opportunities and staying relevant. As you've shared in your chats that, okay, this is something that is helping you as a professional to gain competency, to gain international experience, manage your time effectively. I mean, all these professional development goals are something really important. And this is very important for us through these remote internships to keep building these skills and knowledge and expertise and continue and, having that consistency even in the near future. And why we are being intentional about professional development during our remote internship. Okay, well, today I'm sitting here and I'm talking to you guys and discussing about I'd be talking about, okay, these are the steps you can take. Or maybe these are this is how you can work on your confidence. I would be sharing measures, techniques, methodologies, and everything. And my job would be over in next, I can say next 40 to 45 minutes. Mirtha would be sharing the resources with you guys. Our admin team would be talking about a lot of other stuffs. I mean, even in our last internship, when Mirtha did discuss about, okay, how you can be confident talking to your supervisors. I mean, we do share a lot of these things. We can do that part. But at the end of the day, you are the master of your when you design your career. So you have to be intentional and being aware of the steps and being conscious of the efforts that you're putting in to put into practice the professional development you would want to bring in your internship, which will have an impact in the next steps of your career path. So in a remote internship, yes, absolutely. This is something that, I even share with the interns. You are your master. Nobody's there to look into the work that you've been doing. So no one is looking over your shoulder, which means you are leading your own professional development. And that's a powerful thing. Your supervisor is not asking what time you got up and what time you started, or what time you finished, or are you just checking your WhatsApp or your Instagram in between your work? Nobody's doing. You have your autonomy. It's flexible, it's important, it's very, engaging enough when we talk about, okay, remote work. Oh, that's lovely, that's wonderful. So you have to be intentional. How much effort are you putting in your professional development while pursuing a remote internship? And today we are living at a time where, fast-paced moving world, something new comes up every second day. Things are just a click of a button away. So it isn't only just the educational degree that is important. It isn't only just the set of tasks that you're completing or just getting a certificate that's important, but you need to grow and thrive beyond that. That is, you need to be intentional about the learning, the growing, and building the tasks. That will definitely open doors for you later. Even, the projects that is coming your way, you will finish. You will gain knowledge in that. But the conscious effort that you're putting in along with it, the strings that are attached to it along with it, how much efforts are you putting in to learn and thrive more in that is going to make sure that how intentional, how serious, and how focused you are to gain these professional development skills during your remote internship program. And how effectively are you putting it into practice even at a later stage in your career. Okay. Now, talking about being intentional to expand your professional development in a remote internship, we need to be proactive and we need to be clear about the actions that we're taking in so that at the end of the day, we are in charge of our professional development. So what proactive actions are you taking? Building your professional confidence, expanding your knowledge and expertise, strengthening self-discipline and expanded skill set, growing networking and industry awareness, and building strong remote work skills. So I'm quite sure you guys would be, aware of all these pointers. It must have come your way even before you've started your internship. When you enrolled for this internship program, when you prepared yourself for your interviews, you must have seen good amount of questions that came your way, how to, introduce yourself, okay, talking about your strengths and your weaknesses. Why do you want to join the company? A lot of things must have been there. And even when you applied for these internship programs, you must have had at the back of your head, what skills I would like to improve. I would like to know more about the, the expertise in my field of work, technical and theoretical knowledge about my industry. Okay, one of you shared, okay, I would like to improve, work on managing my time. Okay, strengthening your self-discipline. Then talking about international experience. Okay, international experience, work experience is there. Somewhere down the line, talking about, networking your skills and building strong remote work skills as well. So when we talk about building your professional confidence, what it is, how important it is for you, like what actions have you taken so far to make sure that you're building yourself professionally in a confident manner. Are you having an insight and an understanding? What are your strengths and what are your areas of improvement? What is an organization's goals and vision and how you can put an effort into it. Talking about the knowledge and expertise. Okay, you would be connecting with a supervisor. I always tell the interns during my coaching sessions that see your supervisor not only as your supervisor or your manager, see them as your mentor, They would be at a leadership position, so much to share, so much to discuss, make the most out of it. So how are you going to expand your knowledge during this process, and how you can be expert in the particular internship title that is being given to you and the roles and responsibilities that you're going to use. Maybe maybe you've been given a task or project. How much effort are you going to put in that? Are you going to learn about different softwares or different tools that you're going to use? Are you going to do that homework, digging in deep, doing the research and everything and stuff like that? Strengthening your self-discipline and your expanded skill set. Talking about self-discipline, there has to be, a line drawn between your personal and your professional space as well. That's very important. Really important for us to make sure, even if you're working from your comfort space, is it your professional space? How do I manage my time effectively? One of you shared, yes, I would love to manage my time very importantly. That's really important for me. Maybe struggling. So what conscious efforts are you putting in self-discipline? Okay, even talking about self-discipline, how are you trying to set your goals effectively? Are you, okay, you set in your goals, but are you able to achieve them quite well? An expanded skill set. Talking about those skills and talking about those specific aspects, that is very much required at the later stage of your career. Growing your network and industry awareness, absolutely. When we are working remotely, at times we may have a challenge of not connecting with a lot of people. But how can you use this particular platform, this remote platform, to network? Not networking only on LinkedIn or on any social media handles, but also networking within the organization that you're working and having an industry awareness. Being aware of the latest trends in the market, what changes are taking place. Are you putting in that conscious effort to discuss and know more about it, even if it isn't shared with you during your internship program? And building strong remote work skills, absolutely. We'd be talking about them in the upcoming slides. So these are the proactive actions that you need to make sure that you are in charge of your professional development. That would help you to grow effectively and very efficiently. Building professional confidence, expanding knowledge, self-discipline and expanded skill set, growing networking and industry awareness, and building strong remote work skills. And I would want you guys to reflect on these pointers, as I keep on continue with my session. I would want you to think about maybe an instance or an example or a situation that you've encountered where you've put in those conscious efforts from your end to build up your confidence in the professional development, and the efforts that you are putting in from your end to make sure that you hone those remote working skills. We talk about key skills for professional growth in remote internships. I'm quite sure this is not new for any one of you. You must have, gone through this. You go through it on a regular basis, even while you're a student at the university, even while you're pursuing your internship, or once you've completed your internship. These skills are something that's not going to leave any one of us, right? And as Mirta shared at the very beginning of our session, she shared, it's important for her. I completely agree. It's even important for me as well. Even if you have many years of experience, you really need to, put in that checklist and ask yourself, okay, do I need to take a pause and reflect and keep getting better at my work? Because this is something that helps us to keep upskilling ourselves in the industry and also as a professional. And somewhere down the line, when we're working on these skills for our professional growth as a professional in an industry, it even has a direct impact even for our personal development too. I hope you completely agree with me on that. So first of all, the main skill is communication. I think this is something that I keep sharing on a very regular basis, and I keep throwing light on. Communication is very, very important when you're working remotely. Absolutely. It's even important during in-person internships, in-person working, hybrid working, but when you're working remotely, communication is a bridge. It bridges the gap between both the parties. We may be working from same time zone, we may be working from same country, but we are, miles apart from each other. So effective communication is like a backbone of our remote work. Since we don't have, in-person, face-to-face interaction, we have to make sure that whatever we discuss, whatever we share, whatever we, how we collaborate with our team, it has to be very clear and concise. And communication is super important for us to make sure that we don't have any misunderstandings, we don't have any challenges in the responsibilities that we're carrying forward when we're working in an organization. And it doesn't hinder our growth as an intern or as a professional when we are working in that organization. Just reflect on how well paced or how skilled are you guys in your communication. Are you able to communicate effectively? Are you communicating regularly? Are you proactive in discussing things with your supervisor or with your team during your internship program? Just reflect on it. So as you can see, the pointers that are given over here, how to improve our communication. We have to, practice clear and concise writing in emails and messages. Yes, absolutely. At times, when we are not very clear with our, emails or messages that we, sometimes, interns, they use Slack, they use different other platforms to discuss and share their ideas and queries with their supervisors and the team members. You have to make sure what exactly you're sharing. You have to using the right choice of words, being clear about what exactly you would like to convey and how you would like to put up, because it's not a casual thing, it's a professional setup. So we need to maintain that decorum and the style of working. So we need to be very clear and concise in writing our emails as well. So one thing that I always tell the interns when they draft their emails, at times you may have challenges of setting up, creating a formal emails and messages and stuff like that. You're not very clear how to. Make sure to observe the emails that you receive from your supervisors. Before putting, entering that send button, reread your email quite well. Put it in pointers. Don't elaborate and put long messages. Be crystal clear and then move forward with it. Be proactive in updating your team about your progress. Yes, absolutely. You don't have to regularly wait for your team member, for your fellow intern or your supervisor to ask you for stuff and reaching out to you. Rather, you can proactively update them. Maybe, okay, on Fridays if you have your one-on-one meetings, but on a Wednesday, you can update them. You can let them know that, okay, this is the status of my work. So that what happens, somewhere down the line, if you're going wrong somewhere, they can guide you and help you. Okay, we're going wrong somewhere. That helps you in clearing that confusion and you're on the right track. And that's a very good practice from your end in reaching out to them and letting them know about the work you're doing. Video calls to engage in more personal conversations when necessary. Yes, at times, when we have a coaching sessions, I hope Mirta does agree with me on that. Sometimes our interns, when we switch on to our coaching calls and sessions, they find it, little hesitant in switching on their cameras. I think start with your coaching calls itself, like wherein you can turn on your camera. Like, what's the purpose of these video calls? Just to make you confident about yourself as a professional. Just imagine tomorrow you'd be joining an organization and you have a team meeting. Would you prefer to switch it off or switch it on? That shows your confidence skills, that how you really put up yourself in front of them. So use video calls to engage in more personal conversations when it is necessary. And even if there may be situations or there may be instances wherein your supervisor would be comfortable just with emails or Slack messages or stuff like that and discuss things with you. But always remember, through messages and writing, the discussions are just limited. But when you have one-on-one discussion, it always creates a room for you to discuss more, ask more, having, those informational interviews. As I shared with you, see your supervisor as your mentor, as your guide. So much you can make the most out of that. And you would be even very confident with yourself in sharing your ideas and thoughts too. At the beginning, you may be hesitant in asking a lot of questions, but with time, you'll keep getting better. So consistency is the key. And being able to believe in yourself is also very important. And also, yes, if we talk about video calls, your video meetings, be well prepared from your end for these meetings. We just don't enter meetings just like that. We need to have a conscious understanding. What is the agenda for my meeting? As Mirta shared with you at the beginning of the session, what are we going to cover in today's webinar? 3 pointers were clearly mentioned. So that it's there in your mind, you guys know this is what we guys are going to talk about. That sets a tone for the upcoming session. And we talk about time management. Yes. One of you shared that yes, you'd like.
Can you please
Yes.
check your chat? I want to share a message.
Okay. Okay.
Excellent.
And thank you. Yes. And talking about time management, I think this is, a bit of a challenge for us, like, specifically when we work remotely, like managing our time. Because when we're working in person, what happens? Okay, we have a set office hours and everything. We focus on that. We have, everything is balanced quite well. But during remote internship, and when things are easily accessible and flexibility is there, we tend to have those balancing issues with our work, studies, and our personal life. So strong management skills are really important for us to making sure that we don't procrastinate and we meet our deadlines well on time. So how you can just manage your time. You can just set realistic goals. You can just maybe one thing that I always rely upon, maybe a Saturday or a Sunday, you just take and just plan your upcoming task that's coming your way. What is really important for you, and you set a tone for the upcoming week. It's you have a clarity, write them down. You can, yes, definitely use tools like Trello, Asanas, or Google Calendar. Google Calendar is something that I also use to organize my tasks. You block your calendars, then you try to focus on, okay, these are my working hours, specific hours for working, specific hours for taking regular breaks, and specific time to focus on your studies, on your other job if you guys have. Okay. And in one of our webinars we did discuss about the importance of Eisenhower matrix. So know about Eisenhower matrix, what is important, what is not, what is urgent but also important. Work on your deadlines, and prioritization is really important for you when you manage your time in remote internship. Problem solving and critical thinking. Yes, we work under different time zones. So what is the challenge we face? I mean, at times we have a situation, my supervisor is working in different part of the world, having huge time difference. How do I solve? Be proactive, think, okay, this is a very big problem. How do I break it down into a small one? How do I make sure you take those actionable steps? Because when you are in the midst of a hurdle, or when you are in the midst of a challenge, it gives you an opportunity. Okay, you may fail at times, but helps you as an individual to grow. In the process, you learn something. And when you have that growth mindset, it helps you to keep getting better at the works. And you think more creatively and helping you to find your solutions more independently. That's very important for an intern. Okay, as we move forward, yes, adaptability and flexibility. So adapting to new tools, shifting deadlines, or change in team structure. When you work in an environment, I mean, you joined an organization. I mean, you have a set goal and you have a set plans and everything. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. But when you start with an internship program, at times it happens, okay, this isn't what I signed up for, or this isn't, I don't know about this particular software, or maybe I don't know, this is not how I work. Okay, you might have had, your culture, okay, Southeast Asian region, working with a European organization, different culture, different style of working. So you need to be open to working based on the priorities and requirements. So when you open yourself to different set of culture, different style of working, and maybe a change in your team. Okay, my supervisor changed. Now what am I going to do? Okay, see it as an opportunity to embrace yourself with new set of people and keep learning effectively. That helps you to adapt to changes in a better way and helping you to learn with new set of environment. Now, when we talk about collaboration and teamwork, somewhere down the line we can adapt to collaboration, adaptability, flexibility. It's kind of same. So even though you work remotely, internship involve working closely with a team. At times, we may not have a team member. We just have a supervisor who's working with us. But we can always make sure in building strong relationships with other team members by reaching out to them and asking, can I be a part of the team meetings? Just as an observer, just to see how these meetings are conducted, how we share our opinions, how we agree to disagree, and trying to trying to be inquisitive from your end and putting that initiative and effort to offer help or provide any kind of your expertise that may be required when you're working in a team. Digital literacy, yes, absolutely. Remote internship, we know we are using, we all are working digitally. So you need to be well equipped with your digital literacy skills, super important. You may get the best part about remote internships or best part about working remotely is that you get an opportunity to learn about different tools and platforms and everything. Make sure that you get a chance to learn about these platforms. We start somewhere, we evolve ourselves. And when you get to hone these digital literacy skills and learning about maybe different softwares, being aware of the latest tech trends and the advancements taking place in your field of work, it helps you naturally to upgrade your profile as a professional as well in the industry. So these are the key skills that are required for professional growth in a remote internship program. Now, yes, building confidence in a remote environment. Absolutely. So we did talk about, some of the key skills for professional development and growth, which are super important for us. Now it's up to us, like how building confidence is important in a remote environment. I think if you are able to make in that conscious effort in making sure that, yes, I am quite confident, the road ahead of you is going to be smoother. So building confidence in a remote environment, especially during your internship, can be challenging yet highly rewarding. Because at times, when we work remotely, we miss out the immediate form of interaction or immediate form of feedback. Sometimes, when you don't have people around yourself working along with you, you feel a bit isolated. You have self-doubt or a lack of visibility. So at times it becomes, a challenge if you're not confident enough to showcase your skills in the work that you're putting on. And that is what the first pointer talks about, like, visibility. Because if you are quite confident, you try to put in that effort to showcase it to the team members, the efforts that you put in, the achievements you've gained during and...
Blessy, sorry, do you mind reading the chat?
Yes. Okay. So, it is important that, you talk about your other skills and the strengths that you're gaining and you're visible, showcasing the contributions that you're putting in. And then talking about decision making, self-advocacy, adaptability to, remote tools and practices. I mean, these all are, very common steps that you need to keep in mind that can help you to build your confidence quite well in a remote environment. And then we talk about the next pointer, how to build confidence in a remote internship program. Like what pointers you need to keep in mind while you're working on it. I mean, these are very common, steps that we take in. And I think few of these pointers have already been covered as a webinar for us, like achieving your goals, setting smart goals, seeking and embracing feedbacks, which was conducted recently. First of all is acknowledging your strength. Yes, absolutely. I think we are our biggest cheerleader. If you are not able to recognize or if you are not able to identify your own strengths, I think nothing is going to help you to build confidence in the steps that you're taking in. Something that I keep telling interns, okay, by the end of your internship, what is something that you have to keep in mind? You have to acknowledge your strengths, even if it is just a little thing. Even if it is just, a small feedback that you've got from your supervisor and accomplish something that you've achieved, make a note of that. So when you're able to acknowledge your own strengths, it gives you the confidence to keep getting better at the set of responsibilities that you're carrying forward and setting achievable goals. As I've told you at the beginning, when you manage your time, you have to be clear about setting your goals clearly and setting smart goals. in an effective manner. Because if you have a clarity of the goals that you've set in, if you have a better understanding of like, how am I going to take those actionable steps in the upcoming weeks of my internship, you can manage your time, you have a self-discipline, and you achieve your goals quite realistically. Seeking and embracing feedbacks. Yes, constructive feedbacks are really important. As I told you at the beginning, communication, like, okay, video calls. Why do we let you know that you need these, one-on-one communication with your supervisors? Because at times asking for feedbacks shows your areas of improvement and how much and where you can focus and how much you can keep getting better at the work you've been doing. Because at times, we all fear that, okay, I think I didn't do a great work. Okay, you will get a critical feedback. You would be asked, okay, that this didn't go well. I mean, I think you could have gone better. But at least it's a room for improvement for your personal growth. And I believe that's really important for an individual to work on that. And overcoming imposter syndrome. Yes, I can relate imposter syndrome with acknowledging your strengths, okay? Because at times when we're working remotely, we don't have people around ourselves, we get isolated, we question our ability. When we question our ability, we have a thought that, okay, am I good enough? Am I doing it quite well? Yes, we all are. When you take up an internship, you're not expected to know 100 on 100. You're not expected to give in that 100 on 100 result every time. You will make mistakes, and that's absolutely fine to embrace your challenges along with your achievements. Remind yourself that, okay, you've turned up for this internship, you've been selected. So the company must have seen something great in your work and you must have been set apart, and that's the reason you're doing it. So keeping a positive affirmation, acknowledging your strength, would definitely help you to overcome these imposter syndrome as well, and helping you to build your confidence quite well in a remote internship. Yes, clear and effective communication. Yes, we did discuss about this thing, engaging and discussing things with your supervisor, having an effective communication. We did discuss, right? I don't have to throw much light on this. Building relationships and networking. Relationship building and networking effectively during your internship and at the formative stage of your career helps you to keep growing better. At times, you may not have an opportunity to network with good amount of team members. Okay, it's absolutely fine. You try reaching out to them on LinkedIn, on Slack channel, or different virtual meeting platforms, asking your supervisor, connecting with them on LinkedIn, keeping in touch with them even after you're done with your internship, at least giving you an opportunity to expand your professional network in the industry. Getting feedbacks and asking for maybe, groups and communities that you can be a part of. If you're working with a team, connect with them on LinkedIn, talk to them and ask them about, okay, what, as conscious efforts and steps are you guys taking, or activities that you're participating to engage in networking skills. Do that. We did share the link at the beginning of the session about how to boost your networking skills, how to boost your LinkedIn. Go through that webinar. Practice self-care and mental well-being. Yes, I've been talking about, building your confidence in a remote internship. We've been talking a lot about professional development and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, our self-care and mental well-being is super, super important. I mean, this is also very important for us, because at times when we are working remotely or when we have a lot of tasks, we have our personal life, we have our work, and we have so much to study, we get overwhelmed. We get super burnt by that. So it's important to take regular breaks between your working hours so that you focus and you prevent that burnout. So you need to set boundaries for work. You need to be very clear, even with your supervisors, with the companies that you're working, that this is your set of working hours and this is my personal space. You don't have to be looking onto your emails regularly and replying always then and there. You need to have a set time for everything. When you practice, when you work, when you have that self-discipline, when you manage your time, naturally it has an impact on your self-care and mental well-being as well. And yes, and the last point is embracing continuous learning. Oh, yes. I think up until we die, we all are learners, right? This is what I believe in. So whatever opportunities may come your way, keep learning regularly. Even if you've been given a particular task, even if you've been asked to do something outside of your work, if it helps you to learn something new, if it is giving you an opportunity to learn about a new tool or a technique or the style of working, go for it. At times, they do offer you onboarding trainings, online courses and sessions, and you feel that, oh, this isn't something that I signed up, but at least it's giving you an opportunity to learn. At least it's giving you take advantage of that exposure that you have. And yes, for example, this very webinar that we are conducting, Mirtha is putting in a lot of efforts to, invite you guys and be a part of these sessions and webinars. Why are we doing that? And I really appreciate that you guys are here and being a part of it. So you put in that conscious effort to learn something new and carry something productive with yourself. Focus on the leadership qualities, focus on the skills that is being showcased by the other team members, professional supervisors at your organization. What are your key takeaways when you observe and see their style of working? Is there something that you would like to imbibe in yourself? That is important. So I think these common skills and I think these simple practices always leads to a road to improvement, road to better exploration, and to understand yourself better and have a very productive and an impactful remote internship program. And I think if you put in these conscious efforts and are consistent with these steps, I think nothing can stop you from achieving your confidence and grow professionally as a remote intern and also as a professional by the end of your internship program. So yes, we are coming towards the end of our session today. So personal development in remote internships require proactivity, self-awareness, and communication. Yes, absolutely. Being aware, communicating effectively, being proactive, taking actionable steps, very important for us, for our personal and professional development. Building confidence in a remote setting definitely takes practice and it's absolutely achievable. That is what I was talking about. You have to be intentional about the efforts that you're putting in. You need to show up every day. You need to be consistent. And then absolutely nothing can stop you from achieving it. And looking at your internship as a growth opportunity. Okay, by focusing wherein you can grow professionally and personally, focusing on your skills, your mindset and network. Now, mindset, if I talk about, it isn't only fixed mindset, it's a growth mindset that you really need to have. Okay, and remote work can also teach you valuable skills like independence. Absolutely. You are not supervised always. You have your autonomy, self-management and adaptability, which definitely is very crucial for us in our future career. There may be a few skills that you may not require right immediately after your internship. But what if it would be very productive for you maybe after 5 years or 10 years in your career span? So reflect on them.
Thank you, Blessy. Amazing. So, I have one question because you have a lot of experience with, of course, our participants, right? You are a coach, you listen to them. What could you say is the most or one of the most challenging aspects of professional development that you have identified, that you said, I think most students struggle with this. What is that?
Yes, I mean, when I was talking about this session as well, I encountered a few of them. Having regular meetings with their supervisor, constructive feedback, and trying to connect with team members. At times they feel, oh, it's only me and my supervisor. I wish I had, an extended team where I could overshadow the work of one particular person. Okay, I'm working as a developer, I'm working as a UX designer. I would love to have, a team member who is also an experienced, UX designer. So these I believe, are the major challenges that they face. But most of them, they are able to manage their time quite well, all thanks to our webinars and the resources that we share with them.
Nice. I have a really nice question here. It's like more personal for you. It's like, what is a piece of advice or something particularly you, would have liked to know about professional development when you were at university, when you were just out of university, when you were studying in
Mm-hmm.
this professional
Mm-hmm.
development thing?
Okay, I would love to share that. I mean, when I was at university, LinkedIn wasn't a very big thing. Networking wasn't a very big thing at that time. And I always tell my interns, like specifically when I connect with them on coaching calls, that guys, you're lucky, make the most out of your networking. It's super important. We've never had an opportunity for, I mean, back in those days, I mean, remote internships wasn't even a thing. While I was if I had an opportunity, I would have definitely tried. We struggled to connect with mentors in person.
Yes.
So networking was a challenge, finding mentor online. Now things are click of a button away. If I get back to time, I am definitely going to make the most out of my networking skills.
Yes, I think that when we were studying, first of all, LinkedIn wasn't there, right? And of course, networking was only in person, clearly. So this remote world not only give us opportunities to find information, but definitely to meet people, even though we're not in the same physical place. And starting earlier is the best we can do. And I wish someone had told me, like from university, start having, interesting conversations with your colleagues, get out there, find out what they do, what they're interested in, and keep on doing this with a curious mindset throughout your university and career experience, right? I think
Yeah.
that's something I wish I could have done earlier, because we cannot go back in time now to university, Blessy. We cannot do
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So for those of you still at university, take advantage of this, and also find professors that can be mentors, right? Especially if you are still at university in person, you have still this chance. Find people in person, professors who can speak well of yourself, who can write a recommendation letter, who can give you a piece of advice later on. Um, we have one question. How do you handle,
Mhm.
or what do you do when the workload is more than your working time?
Mm. Yes, I mean, we've had interns who've been working more than what is expected out of them. So, clear communication, setting boundaries is very important. You know, being clear about, okay, first of all, you need to understand, like, okay, I am expected to work like 5 hours a day or 6 hours a day, but my work is putting up me into 8 to 10 hours. So, I think that is something to be reflected upon and discussed with your manager. Because before joining your internship or before joining an organization, your roles, your responsibilities are discussed quite well with you. But at times, we have situation wherein we really need to put in those extra hours just for the need of the work, or something happens. We can be flexible and adaptable, but if it's a regular practice, it is something to be discussed and communicated effectively. That's the
Yes,
most important.
that's a really good question. And we have a question very similar to that one, which says, on time management, strictly working within the constraint of allotted working hours to complete remote tasks has been challenging. Any advice? And here, I want to complement with what you just said. And also, one point you made, which is really valid, is like, okay, let's discuss also with my supervisor to understand if am I really supposed to finish this piece of work in this amount of time, because maybe there's something or that takes more time than my supervisor has considered in the past, or maybe there's something I'm missing in terms of how I can do this better. So this is also a conversation to have, right? To understand is, am I approaching the task correctly? Am I also, if I have flexibility on when I can work, right? If I can
Yes.
decide if I work better
Yes.
during mornings, afternoons, at night, if I can, then try to see
Mm-hmm.
how is my productivity doing. Time management is also about energy managing, right? Sometimes if you know that your best moment is at during morning, try to accommodate so you can be working during morning, right? Or the contrary, if you know that after having lunch you become, tired, sleepy, maybe that's not the best moment for you to start dedicating your the time where you need the most mental clarity,
Yes,
right? So
exactly.
those are things also to have in mind.
And that is what, even I shared, in one of the points, your visibility, the actions and the efforts that you are putting in, let them know about it. And
Exactly.
also connecting with your supervisors regularly, giving an
Yes.
update of your work so that, at times what happens, okay, you're straight out from the university, you have the habit of, theoretical aspect to things. But when you're working professional, practically, maybe the way you are researching your task, maybe you're putting too much effort, maybe your supervisor can guide you. I think you're putting a lot of time in that. I think you could take these practical proactive steps to hurry it up. Do you need any assistance from my team who can guide you? So that is important for you.
That's an excellent
Work
piece of
smart.
advice. And also it's about we understanding how we work, right? Because for instance,
Yes.
my way of approaching a task, I procrastinate a lot because procrastination is about usually the emotional feeling of it. In my case, I procrastinate because I tend to think, oh, I don't know how I would do my work. I don't think I'm gonna be good enough. So I spend a lot of hours, and then when the rush finally hits that, oh my God, I need to start working this ASAP or I won't have enough time, I'm already under a lot of stress. Or how do I procrastinate? I read a lot when my supervisor sends me to write something. I read, I don't know, I do 10 hours of research because my brain thinks I need to know everything before starting to actually doing this. And then the project goes, I don't know, 20 hours, 10 hours for everything I need to do later is like not enough. And the way I approach the task, how I distribute my time, exactly like you said, maybe I'm spending too much on research, maybe there's something I got stuck and I keep on working on that
Yes,
instead of changing and
absolutely.
say, let's find a YouTube webinar. Let's ask ChatGPT. Let's ask a colleague. If I have a doubt, then I need to go to my supervisor. If I have a big doubt that am I really approaching this correctly, or is this what I need
Mm,
to do? Ask before you go into this ride of doing, and then you realize you
yes.
did 30 hours of work and say, oh my God, I'm not even sure this was what I needed to do. So
Yeah.
always
And
be
at
mindful of
times,
the process.
yeah. Yeah, and at times, even the interns, and not only interns, we all have the tendency, okay, do I need to ask for help? How do I, present myself? I mean, what would they even think about me? It's okay. Ask for help when required. You're here to, learn. You're here to thrive. You're not
Of
perfect.
course. And
It's
if
okay.
especially you have Googled, asked ChatGPT, tried a lot of ways of solving it yourself and you haven't been successful, please ask. Let's see, this has been really, really nice. Lots of questions. We could continue. Unfortunately, time is up. Thank you everyone for being here with us. Remember that the more webinars you attend, the higher the level, the certificate you will get will reflect. Certificates are done automatically. You don't need to remember as anything. But if you think that you have already participated in more than 3 in the last 2 weeks and you haven't received it yet, let us know. But now we're going to process all of our certificates and you should be able to receive it in the upcoming next 2 weeks. Blessy, a pleasure.
Thank you so much, Mirtha, for having me over here and for the wonderful participants we've had who've come up with wonderful questions and being engaging enough in the chat. You guys can definitely reach out to me on LinkedIn if you have any questions. I'm just a message away. It would be it would be a treat to my eyes to read your questions and connecting with you guys.
Remember to send a personalized message, right?
Yes.
Saying, hey,
Yeah.
I participated at your webinar. Thank you. And well, have a wonderful day. Bye bye.
Goodbye, everyone. Thank you, Mirtha. Goodbye.